The only way I'd like to see it happen, but I don't think it would because it's too much of a risk, if they actually played for 10 million of their own money.
The Bryson and
Brooks beef.
Which I don't know much about really, so I don't know if you can elaborate on that much or not.
So, after the USPGA, after the USPGA, Brooks was doing an interview and he looked a bit disheartened. I think this was the final round, so he's been playing with Phil Mickelson. He didn't win. Obviously, Phil went on to win, which we'll come on to in a minute. And Brooks was doing an interview, and by the side of him, Bryson DeChambeau was also kind of finished off an interview or whatever. And apparently, from the rumour has it, a couple of things got taken away from this kind of video that got leaked, because I don't think that video should have ever really come out.
They were 100% going to get
I almost feel like
though.
it's a bit orchestrated. I really do. I feel like it's a bit staged. But basically, as Brooks is saying that he struggled on the greens, and most people struggle on the greens today, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, Bryson said if you start it online, you wouldn't struggle. Something along those lines. A bit of a dig as he walked past. So Brooks rolled his eyes, lost his train of thought, kind of swore and kind of said, I can't concentrate with that kind of shit taking place or whatever in the background. So he wasn't happy, basically. Wasn't happy at all. And Bryson kind of walked off. He had spikes on as well, Bryson, which a lot of people thought that's why he was annoyed noisy at first, because as Brooks was doing an interview, Bryson, it's annoying with Brooks and Bryson. Bryson had spikes on, so people thought Brooks was a bit annoyed because of the titter-tatter across the path or whatever it may be. But I want to believe it wholeheartedly, really want to believe it, but just some of me feels like it's planned. I don't know.
I'm not too sure on that.
Both golfers are quite fiery. Certainly Brooks is. He's not scared about saying his opinion. He's been in kind of a few little beasts before, and he's very, very kind of open to saying what he thinks. And obviously Bryson is as well. Both big fellas. I'm sure they're not scared of anybody. And there was then a line that took place on Twitter this weekend. So it came out that Phil Mickelson was having another match.
Yeah. Tom Brady,
Tom Brady and against Bryson DeChambeau and Aaron Rodgers, who I think's an NFL player or something.
I don't know actually. No,
sorry if somebody says he's not, but there's another match coming up. And Brooks then went to Twitter and kind of said, feel sorry for you, Aaron Rodgers. And obviously a bit of beef started there. And Bryson responded saying, I'm glad I've got into your head, or things like this.
I'm living in your head rent free, I think he put.
Then there's a bit more back and forth and blah, blah, blah. Then there's also this underlying match that's happening at the moment. So I don't really know the guy, but the president from Barstool Sports, again, it's massive in America, isn't it? Barstool Sports, has called out Brooks, and Brooks is going to play this president of Barstool Sport.
Left-handed, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this, I don't even know this guy's name, has said that he's asked now Bryson to caddy for him. So that'd be quite fun if that comes off. A lot of questions around this kind of £40 million social media pot that the PGA have put out there at the moment. About this idea that, if you have raised more publicity for the PGA Tour, you get rewarded at the end of the season. I've definitely seen a trend of we said it a few weeks ago, I've seen a trend of tour players starting to do their own much more social media. Mm-hmm. We actually saw a vlog that Bryson released.
That was good.
Yeah, I've not watched it all. You said you said it was really good. I've watched little snippets of it. Phil on social media just going mental.
I don't think he does his own stuff, Phil.
Yeah, but he does his video. He obviously does all of his video stuff. Like, I think his tweeting that took place after USPJ wasn't him, because that was a lot of stuff that got done. But when he's talking in the car park about bloody bombs and hellacious seeds and all this, that's got to be got to be Phil. But I think there's a big push on social media at the moment. I feel like this is brewing to turn into something, whether it's a big money match, or I feel like golf like this could be turned a little bit into boxing soon.
I think it's good for golf though, because if you think about it, my mic keeps moving. If you think about it, when a golfer comes onto the scene, you see them obviously on the golf course, you might see them do a 5-minute interview afterwards. You don't really get to know much about them as a person, do you? It's only when they've been on the scene for so long that you feel like you know them. Like, I don't feel like I know Matt Wolff, for example, really. No. What do you know about him? You feel like you might know Poulter a bit because he's been on the scene for so long. Obviously, the Ryder Cups and stuff, you can kind of gauge the personality. But even like Rory, what do you know about Rory, really?
Yeah.
You don't.
The thing is, I always think about this, and I always think, I'd love to see behind the scenes. But like I say, maybe I need to watch more of this Bryson stuff that he's doing at the moment. I don't know what it'll do what it'll make me think. What I
It's
do
more
like
relatable.
thinking
If you
is,
see, go on, sorry.
I just like to think I know what happens behind the scenes a bit more.
I know there's a scene in that video. If you've not seen this, Bryson's got his own YouTube channel now, and he put this like vlog on. It's about half an hour long. It's not super exciting, but it's just quite like a slow paced week in the life. There's one point he gets up at like 5:30 in the morning. His Bentley, and he goes to the event and he has to fill up fuel on the way. And it sounds ridiculous, but just watching him at the gas station, as they call it in America, filling up his car with petrol or diesel or whatever in the rain, like, it's real. Like, you kind of think in 2 hours' time he's on the telly eating bombs from millions of people across the world. But he's a normal guy. And I almost think for these guys, they don't have to make it mad content. It's just seeing that they are real people, and then seeing them maybe in the hotel room afterwards or going out for dinner and what they think. You don't see any of that normally. And there's definitely a gap in the market for somebody to take that and be more real. Because you feel more part of them then. You want them to do well. Like, I already want Bryson to do well because I feel like I know him more. I don't know him obviously at all, but I feel like I do from watching him on those videos.
Yeah, it's
like, for example, do you know Colin Morikawa?
no.
Like, you don't know anything about them, do you?
Well, the issue that you find is certainly when they're doing when they are doing interviews post round, they turn into somebody like media trained.
Yeah.
You know, it's very safe. It's very corporate. It's thank the sponsors. Thanks for the event. Great. I just didn't quite play great today. I'll move on. I'll try and get better next week. You hear all those same repetitive lines, but it is nice to hear a bit of a different kind of take on it, really.
I like it.
See
more of it.
Do you want to see a match with them?
With them two? Not massively, really. What? I'd like to see them in a boxing match. I don't think a golf match does much. Does it? I'm going to beat you, and then they'll just play them. One will win, or whatever they play. You know, I don't know. I feel like, obviously not going to do a boxing match. That would be ridiculous, but it would be funny if they did. But I don't think golf massively has that for me in a match format. I don't think it massively. It might do. I might change my tune, but I don't think it massively. Because for me, with boxing, I get quite into boxing. A very casual fan, but you have two guys often sometimes undefeated, and you can't believe that one of them is going to have to lose because it's like they're both undefeated fighters.
Yeah.
And they might be going for a belt or whatever it might be. And the whole week, 2 months before, they're giving each other the trash talk. And sometimes it's a bit fake, but you get so involved in it. And they're both saying, I'm going to beat you in the first round, I'm going to beat you in the first round, or whatever it might be. And then the fight happens, and then one of them wins and one of them loses. Obviously, very, very rarely it could actually be a draw. But with golf, it's like, well, if Bryson and Brooks played each other, well, one of them will lose. Like, I kind of know that. Doesn't mean anything, does it?
The only way I'd like to see it happen, but I don't think it would because it's too much of a risk, if they actually played for 10 million of their own money.
But even so, it would still be backed, wouldn't it? It'd be massive.
That's what I'm saying, though. I want it literally out their own money. Like, and I'm sure, like, say, they'll make it back in sponsors and stuff. But even that match that Mickelson and Tiger did a couple of years ago when they were playing for $1 million, wasn't their money.
I know, but even that, I know what you're saying, but it doesn't work because if they say we're paying for 10 million out of our own money, they're still going to make money doing it. So the sponsorship for the event makes.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
I'd
love to see. Just have a match of just an actual cash match, but they'll
just
make it
on
a different
YouTube.
way.
It's like, imagine that'd be the way. Do it on YouTube, but like on someone else's channel, they don't make a penny from it.
Yeah,
and it's just all ego. It's like, right, I'm paying for 10 million. There's no sponsors. There's no sponsorship boards.
If you want to play on my channel, that's fine.
That'd be sick.
I'll host it. Yeah, I think that's something I would like to see. Like, genuinely, at the end, you see an exchange, not an exchange of 10 million, but an exchange, like an actual, I'm gutted because I've just lost 10 million. Where I feel like when they're playing for $1 million in these matches, they're playing for $1 million, but they're not going to lose $1 million. Like, they're still in profit.
What about if they played and the loser had to delete all the social media?
Yeah.
And had to start again.
Yeah.
That'd be quite good.
I just feel like it just needs to.
But then equally, Brooks has got 4 majors, hasn't he now?
Yeah.
Has he got 4 or 3? 4, I think.
4, I think.
Bryson's got 1. So that's his argument done straight away. Well, I've got more majors than you. So until Bryson gets more than him, you can't really say anything, can he?